Hey, Husker fans, Sam McKewon, along with Jimmy Watkins, for the Pick Six podcast spring football position preview. We're on to the defensive backs. This has probably been the most consistent defensive group over the first 4 years of the Scott Frost tenure, but they have a lot to replace, But, Jimmy, over the first 4 years, they've been pretty good. They've been able to shut down some of the Big Ten's best receivers, or relatively shut them down, and they've kept Nebraska in a lot of games, even though they don't have much of a pass rush for the Huskers. I gave this group a B over the first 4 years of their time at NU.
Well, it helps to have two guys in DiCaprio Bootle and Lamar Jackson who ended up being NFL guys when you walk in the door. That certainly helps. But even those guys, I mean, the first year, Nebraska ranked 78th on pass yards per game, and then that second year they made a jump to 30th. That was the best mark they've had under Eric Chinander. But what I like about what Chinander has done with this defensive back room is he's made it. It does, like, okay, you lose Cam Taylor-Britt, another NFL guy, but you can plug guys in. It's a replicable success formula. It's not player dependent. You can slide guys in there, and like you said, Quentin Newsome this year, freshman, came right in. He barely missed a beat. I mean, that's a credit to Quentin Newsome, but that's also a credit to the success of Eric Chinander's scheme that he's deployed so far.
One interesting thing about the change in Chinander's scheme over the first 4 years, Jimmy's got on his computer there, that opponents completed only 56% of their passes in 2018, but the yardage was more. And then in 2021, they completed 64.6%, but the yardage was less. Here's why. Chinander would dedicate 6, 7 rushers. And so a lot of times guys were on sort of man islands, or they were in quarters coverage, or whatever they were. And so it would make it harder for the quarterbacks to complete passes, and sometimes their throws would be off. But when they hit them, they got more yards off of them. And so Chinander has gotten a little safer. Their blitzes come from inside blitzes. You'll see Reimer come on an inside blitz. Maybe there'll be a twist with Tanner and somebody else. But it's usually a 5 or 6 man pressure. They have not used a lot of 6 and 7 man pressures, unless you're talking the 2020 Penn State game when they brought a bunch of them. They haven't used a lot of those since 2018. And so the defensive backs have given up more completions, but they tend to be for fewer yards. The big question mark, obviously, Cam Taylor-Britt is gone. Deontay Williams is gone. Markel Dismuke is gone. They kind of got used to Deontay Williams because he got hurt in the Minnesota game. They brought in Miles Farmer. I think you feel pretty good about Farmer. They already know who Quentin Newsome is. He played just about every snap last year at corner, and I thought he was pretty good. They have 2 more positions to fill, and they have a lot of names. They don't have a lot of proof right now. They brought in a bunch of newcomers. They brought in 3. Omar Brown, transfer from, 4. Omar Brown, the transfer from Northern Iowa. Tommy Hill, the transfer from Arizona State. Deshaun Singleton, a junior college signee from Garden City. And Javier Morton, a junior college signee from Garden City. Javier's from Garden City. Deshaun Singleton, I think, is from Independence. Those 4 guys have to hit. Let's be honest, right? They're not bringing them here just to hang around on the bench the way Nadab Joseph did and the way Tyreek Johnson has so far.
I'm fascinated to see how the guys who thought they might be incumbent guys respond to the injection of new blood in there. Braxton Clark, I think, heading into his junior year, I think we all kind of thought that maybe that was a natural second corner slot. And Marquise Buford, who they kind of toyed around with cornerback and safety last year, probably feel the same way about him. So I think when you introduce new competition into the room, it's going to, hopefully it'll breed an even higher level of success. But we'll have to see how those more experienced guys react to the new additions.
I think Brown's probably going to slot pretty quickly into a starting corner spot. He was very good at Northern Iowa, and I think he's got enough sort of reps under his belt. Tommy Hill might be more talented, but Hill hasn't played a lot. He only played the 1 year at Arizona State. I like Deshaun Singleton. Now, he's young. He's a little bit different. He went to junior college mostly to improve his recruiting profile. He didn't have to go there. He chose to. Javier Morton had to kind of go to junior college. He was an Alabama commit at one time, and he had to go to junior college. Singleton did not. So he played 1 season, and I like things that he does. I like guys that can be able to do a lot of different things in coverage. Singleton can carry guys deep, which is something Nebraska was good at last year. But the thing I like about him is he's able to come down and trail a crosser at that 11 to 15 yard mark, boy, and he does a nice job of it. And a lot of times your safeties are good at running back and carrying the routes deep, but they have a hard time doing both of those things. DeJon Gomes, who you don't know, and that's okay. He's from the Cleveland area, I believe. DeJon Gomes was really good at that. Eric Haig was really good at that. They were really talented at being able to track guys across the field and made it really hard to hit those little crossers that you try to hit when you can't get stuff over the top. I think Singleton is going to be a hit. I don't know about Morton. I suspect Omar Brown's going to be pretty good, and I don't know much about Hill. If they get 2 of the 4, I think they're going to be very comfortable. There's young guys in the program, Taman Lynham, Buford, as you said. Still question marks there, and I'm really still interested to see what Kobe Bretz can do. You just wonder. The Omaha West Side star, he redshirted last year, didn't have to do a lot. Great athlete, curious to see what he can do. And, of course, Noah Pulley-Gates, who has been here for a long time. This is going to be his, I believe, his 3rd spring, but also like he's been here 3.5 years, and he hasn't quite busted through. And he was a highly rated recruit in the 2019 class. If Noah Pulley-Gates is going to get it done, this is going to be the spring that he does it. They brought in 4 guys to try to replace those people. So that's the question. You're right. They must feel like they needed help because they brought it in. We'll see what happens. For Jimmy Watkins, I'm Sam McKewon with the defensive back position preview. Thank you, Husker fans.